This is the Aussie Cousins Wrestling quick review of every match at Clash in Paris. Stay tuned to find out what went down with me, Chris Apples. Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed opened the show to an insanely hot Parisian crowd. And while neither of us here were backing our fellow Aussie to get the win, we were mighty impressed with his performance once again. The Big Auszilla was on top of Roman Reigns for most of the match and had an answer for just about everything, including turning a spear into a sit-out powerbomb in a way I don't think I've ever seen before. Bronson Reed was eventually worn down by the tribal chief and finally got hit with the spear for Roman Reigns to win. Roman then attacked Paul Heyman to get his shoes back from the Schulafala, and while he was celebrating, Bron Breakker appeared out of nowhere and speared him through the announce table, and it seemed like he landed on his own head as well. This would lead to a prolonged beatdown of Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker, who had hit another huge spear, and even the intervention of Jey Uso couldn't stop Bronson Reed going through with tsunami after tsunami. Roman Reigns would be laid out on a stretcher, and still he was hit by the giant Aussie crashing down on him without being able to protect himself to clearly ride him off for a while. Next up was the Street Profits attempting to win their WWE Tag Team titles back from the Wyatt Sicks pair of Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. A weird start as, out of nowhere, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins started arguing about who would start, and Montez ended up getting a forceful tag on his longtime teammate. But their chemistry worked well for most of the match after that, with both of them hitting insane dives out of the ring onto their opponents. They would be on top until Nikki Cross came out from under the ring to get herself involved, and Uncle Howdy would hit a Sister Abigail on the outside with the ref distracted. Lumis and Gacy gave their suplex powerbomb finisher to Montez, and the creepy ones retained. The third match was a bit of a rough one, with Becky Lynch defending her Intercontinental title against Nikki Bella. And let's just say it took a while for Nikki to really get going in this match. I think she's been good fun for her promos and her work outside of matches since coming back, but this was indicative of her form in the ropes. She's not quite up to the same speed as someone like Becky Lynch, who is just about at the top of her game once again. This one did not need to go 13 minutes at all, and eventually it was Becky Lynch recovering after being hit with a manhandle slam using her Lynch pin roll-up finisher, as Wade Barrett called it, and she retained her title. Wade Barrett also called Aussie Cousins Wrestling the future of YouTube analysis and suggested the audience should subscribe to our channel and like the video as we prepare for our own PLE next month here in Perth, Western Australia. Moving on now to the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, and this was ridiculous in all good kind of ways. Definitely the best match in the series between the two on-again, off-again mates, and both of them are going to need ice all over their bodies to recover from the beatings they took. Sheamus probably hit about 50 beats of the Bodhrán throughout the match in all different places in the ringside area. At one stage, Rusev slammed Sheamus through a bar from a pub that was set up at the ringside, while Sheamus returned the favor with a white noise through tables set up next to the ring. Rusev eventually broke down his Irish opponent and used the shillelagh in the mouth of Sheamus while putting on the accolade. The big Irishman had no choice but to tap out. The crowd went absolutely rapturous next, with John Cena appearing for the final time in a WWE match in Europe. Logan Paul was understandably booed out of the building as this match descended into finisher and signature spam between the two of them, just not always their own finishes. The biggest pop of the match came when John Cena fantastically transitioned into a Styles Clash for a close near fall for the crowd to burst into Il est vraiment phénoménal, which even had Jelly Roll and Post Malone staggered by the incredible atmosphere. After Logan Paul tried to hit a 5-knuckle shuffle, landing in a completely different area code to John Cena, the greatest of all time got back on top and two AAs finished the deal. There was no psychology or fundamentals to this match whatsoever, just move after move. But still, John Cena made this a lot of fun. And in the main event of the evening, Seth Rollins had the deck stacked against him as LA Knight, Jey Uso and CM Punk all vied for his World Heavyweight Championship. And it looked like they were going to work together to get rid of the Vision leader, but just couldn't help themselves from taking each other out. LA Knight was removed from the action after going for an elbow drop onto the announce table, but Seth moved out of the way in time. And then I almost called the finish spot on as CM Punk and Jey Uso were left in the ring. Punk hit the go to sleep and got the but it would be simplement as Seth Rollins stomped his head into the mat to screw him out of the title. But Punk kicked out of the resulting pin, so it didn't quite go the way I suggested. And just when CM Punk had hit one GTS and was going for a second on Seth Rollins, who should appear to whack him straight in the nuts, but Seth's wife Becky Lynch, who seems to have joined the Vision, as Seth stomped Punk's head into a steel chair and retained his title. A very successful PLE for us two here in the wrestling Wrestling Predictions League from Aussie Cousins Wrestling with our tips for the event, as I scored the winner in all 6 matches, whereas my colleague Mikey Spence only missed out on his pick of Sheamus to beat Rusev to go 5 from 6. And overall, we are giving this event a good rating on our scale, and I imagine those in the building would have been treated to a night they will never ever forget. Let us know what rating you would give Clash in Paris in the comments below, and click one of the videos on the screen right now.